tried to get out of state. Maybe California, but she
Welcome back to Chris from the Hagon factory. So this week's video, we've got a few updates. We've got the Royal Enfield 350 that the old man's been working on for a customer that's going to be ridden at Selleck's Beach. We've got Peter Stevens, who has done most of this video. He's done an excellent job. So we've got Pete. He's been mucking around with the valve seats on the 350 BSA for the slider. And at the end we've got the 500 GP the old man's working on. So there's a bit of different stuff. Skip through it, have a good look. And I've got a bit of footage of some of the work I've been doing while I'm in the Northern Territory, but I'll be home very soon and we'll get back on with the Hagon factory and get on with the Valo and the Triumph dirt tracker as well. So let's have a look at the video.
Empty bottles and wasted time. I got nothing to show for all my wasted time, except the trouble, worried mind.
And I said, John, please don't leave me here alone.
Okay, now, this bike featured on one of the Hagon factory videos a while ago. It's a 350 Royal Enfield. They actually did make a scrambler model, and this is one of them apparently. It's got a high pipe and a few other distinguishing things on it. But it had an air cleaner box sitting here with a carby all hooked up to it, but there was no filter in the air cleaner box, and it swallowed half a tonne of gravel. And the piston, I'll just go out of frame here a minute. See if I can
Yep.
Okay, righto. Okay, this is the piston that came out of it. You can just see, like, it's just chewed. It's just worn out from swallowing gravel. That's all dirt damage. It's particularly bad on the back there. Now, the piston that I have put in it is a bullet piston, which is fair bit high compression. It's got valve cutaways in it and so on.
Yep.
And I've also put a set of competition valve springs, heavier valve springs, and new valves and guides. That's all done. The new piston's in there with the rings and everything. That's all done. And I'm just about to tighten the head down. I've just sorted out which rocker goes where. But these are quite nice little, I've pointed this out before, but these are lovely little rocker bearings. Like other manufacturers could take note of these, you know. And they're dowelled. See the little dowel pins there? They're dowelled so that they line up really nice.
I can't see the...
You see the dowel pin holes?
The pins, yep.
Yep, I see these rockers too, these are overkill, I reckon. Have a look at these things. They're massive, aren't they?
I can see the pins now, I couldn't see them.
Righto, so that goes like so. And that goes like... That goes like so.
Yep.
And that's your little rocker bearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these are actually got a decompressor in them as well.
Yep.
Little decompressor, but this one's not working very well, but I have a new one to put in it.
Yep.
So
that just screws straight into the cylinder.
Screws straight in.
Yeah.
You could
plug that with
you could make a twin plug head if you wanted to. Just by leaving that out, put another plug in. But anyway, this is going back together okay now. I'll have this finished very soon. And I'll be able to give it back to the owner. I've got to put another gearbox sprocket on it. I'll have to pull the clutch off and everything to do that, but that'll be pretty easy. These aren't too bad. I've done one of these before. I've done a full restoration on one of these from the ground up.
So what year's this?
Oh, look, I don't know the exact year, but I'd say it's 50s.
Yeah.
Swinging arm frame, so it's early to mid 50s, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's got that nice Lucas Maggie on it, like the one we're putting on the boozer.
Yeah, and it looks like it's been built up as well, doesn't it, underneath it?
The bike did actually run, even though it had swallowed a lot of gravel. It did actually run, but it was terrible smoking. And it's got a brand new carby on it.
Yep.
So that'll help it along a lot. But this bike, I'm preparing this bike for a guy to ride it at Selleck's beach races next year. So
Yeah, so he'll have
Where's that?
over in South Australia, below Adelaide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's going to run this over at Selleck's Beach.
Yeah.
And I'm also doing a 500 matchless for him so he's got a 350 and a 500. So I've done a lot of work on the matchless too, including a pretty serious head modifications and big valves, high comp piston, and special cams. It's got some pretty hot cams in it. So hopefully it'll go all right as well. So you'll have 2 bikes to take to Selleck's Beach next year. Yeah, so yeah,
Be good.
yeah. All the parts, the new parts for this, I got those from Hitchcock's in England, and once again, the service was just brilliant. You know, they were here in barely a week. Yeah, all the stuff came out: gaskets, piston rings, valves, valve guides, valve springs, everything. Just all turned up in in a week. Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah.
So when we actually get it to run, we'll film it again running.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could knock this over in the next couple of days. So yeah, should be all done, and he'll be a happy little fella.
And I said, Joan, please don't leave me here alone. And she says, I ain't never coming home. Yeah, she says, I ain't never coming.
Well, we're back in the workshop today with the BSA 350. A little bit of an update as to, well, not an update, but just as to what we're up to and what we're doing. So I've got this interesting valve seat cutter set. It's been made by, believe it or not, by a mutual friend of Alan's and myself. He has made these cutters when he was probably an apprentice in a large workshop here in Bendigo, and he's done an absolutely beautiful job of them. Like I couldn't believe that he actually made them, but he's such a it's a beautiful piece of gear. So anyway, so how this works is that it's got a taper on here, and that taper engages with the hole in the cutter. These cutters are, as you can see, they're all 45-degree angle seat cutters. The valves have been ground to that same 45 degrees. So what we'd expect then is with having the valves ground to the 45 and the seats cut at 45, you aim for a good seal at around in the combustion chamber with the valves. So yeah, so what I'll do is I've got this part of it here provides support for the cutter and centralises it in around the valve stem, which is where you want it to be central, because that's what the head of the valve rotates around as well. So you put this down inside the valve guide, and then you screw it around like that, and as you screw the thread down, this comes up the taper and expands inside the guide to the point where it supports it within the guide. And then so what I'll do now, I'll put that out of the way, and I'll bring the head over. And the head is a real benefit of the BSA heads, and it might be across the board with other engines as well, is that where the rocker covers go on is machined at right angles to the actual valve stem itself, so that when you place that on the bench, you can get have the valve pointing is vertical. Yeah, so I've just got to get that valve back out of there, and I'll show you what we do with the cutter. So first thing up is to put this into the guide, and you got to get it a bit firm to start us, which is a little bit too much. Go down a bit further. Then use out of the tool kit a split pin to tighten that up inside the pull that sheath up the taper and tighten it up in the valve guide. So that's nice and firm now. So what we can do now is to put the cutter on. For some reason it's not going down far. What's going on here? Might have that bit up too far. That's what it is. Got to push it down further. It's bottoming out in the handle. That was what the trouble was there. My mistake. Nothing to do with Aaron's cutter. So it's got it now down. Take it down a bit lower again. Further. Now the idea now is just a downward pressure on the cutter. Only rotate one way, not allowed to go backwards. So this seat, I've done this seat before, so this is just basically a demo on how and what we've done. So in doing that, we get a situation where we can see where the cutter is cut right down on the bottom part of that seat. So we'll take this out now and make sure. Take it back out, remove that, give it a bit of a wipe around, and then with the valve we can do what's known as lap on the valve. So the surface that it's going to seal on is that bottom 1.5 mil or whatever it is there on that valve. If you can see that, I'll try and point it out there. So that's that bottom part of the valve where it's sealing. So to do the lapping process, I've got a tin of valve grinding paste, which is a split tin. So on one side it's got coarse, and the coarse is fairly coarse. I had to try and get the lid off it there before. It was stuck on good and proper, but I'm only going to use the finer paste. If I can get the lid off that now. Yeah, I can. So there's plenty of paste left in the fine side, so just a little bit of a smear of that around the inside of the valve seat, like so, and then and we put the valve in, and with this suction device, handle, whatever you want to call it, it sucks onto the head of the valve, and then away you go. The fine paste sounds good, you know, like it takes any spots off that seat and provides a good seal between the valve and the valve seat, which is the whole idea. Otherwise you'd lose compression out through the valves and that'd be no good. Burn valves quick. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just point out where in the valve seat where that is actually seating. You can see it's easy to see on the valve where it is because it's that surface there that hasn't got any of the compound on it. And then if we look at the actual valve seat, it's right down at the bottom of that. Now I'm not sure whether that's the best place for it to be, but in this case that's where it is, and I haven't got any means of changing that or altering that, but I'm led to believe by the people that are around me that that'll work okay. So test will be in the run when we get it running. So that's the process. The same follows the same, obviously the same procedure doing the inlet valve. Start with the cutter. Again, the head design comes into play where we've got a nice flat for that to for the head to sit on, and then we'll give that seat a cut. The cutter set has a variety size cutters that give you the a range of valves, seats that you can cut with it. So yeah, all right, that's all I have to show you at the moment.
Tried to get out of state, maybe California, but she couldn't escape. She fell in love with every pretty face.
Okay, so we're back on the Grand Prix Triumph today. I'm working on the front suspension at the moment. And these damper rods, which were in all the sets of forks I had, were just rusted and absolutely destroyed. Anyway, I looked around everywhere in Australia, I couldn't get any, and a guy suggested I ring Ace Classics in London. And I rang them and they said, yeah, we got them, we got them, yeah, for sure. So I bought 2 brand new damper rods from over there, which they sent over, arrived in 5 or 6 days from London, which I thought was pretty good. And the bonus on these, they were £90, and I thought that was for one, but it was for a pair. So that was all right. So then I decided to do these forks up myself. So what I did was I got some brand new stanchions from Melbourne, from Union Jack in Melbourne. And I cleaned all these up. These are the original fork sliders. They came up right, I had them powder coated, and these are seal holders, which have got a
Fine thread.
Very fine thread. It's taking a long time to come off. Oh, there we go now. Yeah. So what I did was I machined up my own bushes, which and in there is just a felt washer arrangement. Yep. Yeah, and that just tightens down, and the dampers go down the middle, which are held in by a bolt in the bottom. That's a bolt goes in, then screws into the bottom of the damper, and the
Yep.
springs go in,
Yep.
and that's about it. Now, I've been really tearing my hair out over what to do about the covers for here that go here and down over to there, because they were specific to the Grand Prix model, because they had no headlight ears and that on them. So,
Right.
So they're specific to that. So anyway, my son, who was a great font of all knowledge, said, "Have you rang Ace Classics back?" And I said, "Well, no, I haven't." So I rang Ace Classics last night, and guess what? They've got them, brand new, brand new Grand Prix fork covers. So I immediately ordered a set, and they're on the way. So that's going to make the front end look really, really original.
Yeah.
It's going to look brand new, and it's going to have all original bits. Yeah. So there's lots of other little odd things on these, I reckon. There's U-bolts that hold the handlebars on, quite heavy duty U-bolts. Most bikes, as you know, these days just have a half clamp and bolts through it. But they've got the U-bolts, so I've got those. Brand new as well. So we have the carbies, have all the front suspension components. All we need now to do is to build a couple of good wheels for it.
Do they have a generator?
No,
They don't.
no, they're not the correct plates. They were the ones I got with the bike. The only difference between those and the Grand Prix plates is the Grand Prix plates didn't have the generator hole.
Right. So in other words, it didn't. It was solid there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll rectify that later. But where the generator goes into the cases on the other side, that's where the tacho drove.
Oh,
On the
okay.
Grand Prix
Yeah.
line.
Right angle drive. Yep.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I haven't got those bits, but I'm sure we can get parts to do that.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. And then over here we have a tacho that I picked up when I was over on the Isle of Man. That's actually came from the Isle of Man, that tacho. I went to a bit of a garage sale, and this guy had the biggest shed full of motorbike parts I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You walked in the front door and you started walking uphill on all the bits. And he had boxes and boxes of stuff, and I said, "Oh, have you got any econometric tachos?" And he said, "Oh yeah, there's some here somewhere." So he's ratting around and he found this 10,000 rev one, which I was pretty happy about. And I've had it on a couple of bikes over the years, but I've always hung on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll go up on here.
Yep.
Yep. And so that's all good. So that's where we're at with that. Anyway, Peter.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're sort of making a bit of progress.
That's good.
Yeah. Got nearly everything we know. We just got to get motivated to build up a couple of nice wheels for it. Now this is the carby that I've had cleaned up off the 350 BSA. That'll be going on that. The rest of it's in pretty good condition. That's called a TT9. It's an Amel TT9. They were sort
Come
of
back a little bit.
Yep, they were sort of pre Grand Prix GPs.
So this will go on the booster motor I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep, it will.
Remote float, or not a remote float, but a.
Yeah, that'll go like so.
Well, yep.
Yep. Yep. So, the rest of that carby's in quite good condition. Slide and everything.
It's a big carby then, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's got a big slide in it.
Yeah, yep, it's a fairly big ball carby for 350. And that's actually a GP float chamber.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. I thought I'd go for this. This wasn't the very one that was on it, but I thought I'd go with this because they're just a bit better proposition all round. And they're easy to get needles and stuff for. John Parker, once again, good old John Parker. The Amel man, he's got those. He keeps those in stock, so won't be a problem. So we're making a bit of
should look good.
Bit of headway on the boozer as well.
And she says, I ain't never coming home. Yeah, she says, I ain't never I'm never coming home.
Righto, same as every other week. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everybody. Let's bring Hagon's back.